I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was scarred with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one Chief Rockin' Knicks universe. Your main man, Uncle Freezie, is in the building. Good mornings, good mornings, good mornings. What's good, everybody? Andrew College in the building. Just Knicks. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Good to see y'all. Good to be with y'all, man. Hadn't been around in a few days, so I'm coming through to say salute, salute, salute. Hadn't been through, man, obligations and situations and all that stuff, but we here to talk that Knicks talk to y'all the way that y'all like to have it talked. And so we have a game today at 12. We have a game today at 12. I think we're all looking forward to that, right? And I know we want to talk about a few things. When is Randall going to be 100% healthy? When is this offense going to hit on all cylinders? Is this defense for real? Is RJ for real? What to expect from Quentin Grimes, right? Are we going to trade Emmanuel quickly? Has Tom Thibodeau turned the corner? Worldwide L is in the building. DSJ is in the building. Jay Busby was happening. T. Smith in the building. Hey, Worldwide L, I might be your cousin, bro. Hey, Worldwide L, I might be your cousin, bro. I just talked to, I just came back from a family function in Charlotte, and we was talking about all our family members in Far Rockaway, New York. So Worldwide L might be my cousin. I don't know. He and I are gonna have to chop it up. We were talking about all our family members in Far Rockaway, New York. So Worldwide L, if you know any Jacksons or Smiths or Pattersons or Mabrys in Far Rockaway, bro, I might be in Richardson's, I might be your cousin, bro. DSJ is in the building. Coney Island, stand up. Yeah, man. I think it's Pattersons and Jacksons, Smiths, Richardsons, and somebody else. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Bunch of them. If you especially, I think Jacksons, Pattersons, Smiths, Richardsons, and I think somebody. Yeah, L. So I was told that one of my people used to work at the train station. The train station, like it's a train station up there somewhere where they used to meet, or not at the train station, but they used to meet at the train station because they used to work in the city, cleaning houses and all that stuff way, way back in the day. Yeah, man. So I have a few topics, man, that we could discuss this morning. I want to get a feel for what y'all wanted to talk about more so. I want to talk about the Emmanuel Quickly situation. I want to talk about, has Tibbs turned the corner? I want to talk about how long it's going to take before Julius Randle turns the corner. Is this defense for real? So it's a lot of things that we could talk about, right? I don't want to talk about the same old stuff. You know, I know you guys watch a lot of Knicks content creators, and they talk about a lot of stuff, and so I know those conversations can get. You probably heard it before, right? But what I'll start off before you guys put, or while you guys sip your coffees and get ready for your day, I'm going to introduce a topic that's been on my mind for the past few days. And that topic, you know what? I'm gonna put the link in the chat too early. I put the link in the chat early too. So here is one of the things that I wanted to talk about, right? I want to talk about the misnomer. I want to talk about the misnomer of the Knicks defense being small and that being an oversight, right? I want to talk about the Knicks being small and how Knicks fans think that is an oversight, right? As I watch this team evolve, as I watch this team evolve over the course of the season, as I watch these units that Tom Thibodeau employs, I can't say as a basketball man, I can't say as a basketball man, right, that what Tom Thibodeau is doing is a mistake. As somebody that follows basketball and sports in general and have been for quite some time, I can't say that what Tom Thibodeau is doing right now is a mistake. I honestly believe what Tom Thibodeau is doing right now as we speak at the moment with this defense is brilliant. Is it sustainable? I don't know. But the thought of it, in theory, is genius. The thought of it is genius in my mind. Right? And I know what you guys are asking, or I don't know what you guys are asking. Let me rephrase that. I have a feeling that you guys are thinking like, yo, what the hell is Uncle Freezie talking about? I'm gonna say this to you. Have you ever been in the park playing, just messing around, and you messed around and stepped in an anthill, and you swat off one ant, and then you feel the tinge of another, and before you know it, it's like you got like a bunch of ants on your leg tearing you up? Or you ever swatted at a bumblebee or at a bee, and then before you know it, it's like mad different bees coming trying to sting you, and you take off running? What I'm calling Tom Thibodeau's defense is a fire ant defense, right? And so in a fire ant defense, you don't have to be the most powerful. You don't have to be a tiger, right? You don't have to be a lion. Tom Thibodeau's defense is like a pack of hyenas. They're just going to wear you down with numbers until you submit. Right? They're going to wear you down with numbers, right? Tom Thibodeau's defense is going to contest every inbound pass. They're going to contest every dribble, every screen, every cut, every pass, every shot, every rebound until you are just exhausted. And do you need 4 7-footers and 4 6'8" wing guys to do this? No, you actually just need a swarm. And I understand that this is not conventional wisdom, right? I understand that. But the Knicks are not in a conventional situation. Let me just put it that way. The Knicks aren't in a conventional situation. The Knicks are in a situation where it's hard to get stars to come to New York, right? The front office has not shown you that they can trade for a megastar, right? The league does not have a young, bankable star disgruntled with his situation, ready for a change of scenery. Coach B is in the building. The Knicks are employing a fire ant defense. Do something real quick. Hold on. And listen, I understand that employing strength by numbers is not popular, right? It's not a popular thing to say or do, because for the most part, most fan bases want a guy that jumps really high, shoots a lot of threes, dunks on a crowd, super charismatic. I understand that. And I absolutely get it. I absolutely get that. If you buy into that, right? I absolutely get that if that is what you believe, right? When I watch this rotation of guys, Grimes and RJ and Randall and Mitch, DiVincenzo and Josh Hart, Quickly, Deuce McBride, Hartenstein, a lot of guys that look about the same size, same height, same weight, same profile. When you see those guys, you think to yourself, man, we need height. But no, we don't. We don't. In my humble opinion, And it is humble. In my humble opinion, all the Knicks really need is more consistent outside shooting. And once they get that, I think the Knicks are in a good place. Andy is in the building. So I think Tom Thibodeau is employing a fire ant defense. It's like when you step in an anthill and you stir up the anthill, all the soldiers come running, and no one ant is more impressive than all, but all have the same goal: stop you from advancing. And I think that's what Tom Thibodeau is doing. And the point of attack on that fire ant defense is the much maligned offensively deficient Quentin Grimes. When you see Tibbs employ this thing, it's like, go get him, Grimes. And Grimes leads the charge on this fire ant defense. I know it's not a sexy thing to hear. It's not even a sexy thing to say. But if we keep it a stack with each other, this is definitely what Tom Thibodeau was doing, right? How else would you describe Josh Hart at the 4? How else could you describe a RJ at the 4 type scenario? As we speak, or at the beginning of the weekend, I'm not going to say as we speak, I'll say at the beginning of the weekend, the Knicks had the number 2 ranked defense in the NBA. I'm just going to double check it right now just to see. The Knicks started the weekend, or at least Thursday night, they had the number 2 ranked defense. I'm going to check it right now just to see. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. The Knicks are now, they're number 2, but not by much. The Knicks can leave this Charlotte game being the number 1 defense in the NBA. Right? The Knicks can leave this weekend being the number 1 defense in the NBA. I'm going to go to NBA.com. You know what? Top defensive ratings. Or top defensive player ratings. Let me say that. Top defensive player ratings. NBA 2023/24. Them. All right. Oh, that's showing me last year. I don't want to see last year's. Let me see here. Max, what's good, man? How you doing this morning?
Hey, boss.
Good morning. Morning.
Different location. I'm at my sister's apartment in Greensboro.
Okay. Hey, I was just that way yesterday. No, I was in Charlotte. So, yeah. So, let me see here. I'm going to bring up something here. I want to player advanced leaders, defensive rating thus far. And okay. All right. So RJ was in this group. RJ Barrett is no longer in this group.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Beverley is the best defender in the league right now, according to NBA.com.
And the Clippers?
Philadelphia.
Oh, so they trade.
Robert Covington is
was that part
there
of the trade
also.
Deal? Was that part of the trade deal to get rid of Harden?
Yes. Yes. And so here's the thing, everybody. R.J. Barrett, Quentin Grimes are ranked back to back. So they are ranked. This thing is, I'll put it on the screen for everyone to see. I'm just going to share it really quick if I can share it, because I'm sharing something right now. So let's be patient with me as I work through this. I'm going to move this and add this. All right. So let me remove that and add that. And so you can see that.
Let's see.
I'm gonna try to get this a little bit bigger without distorting it.
Beverly, Reed, Cotton, Covington, Anderson, Goodwin, Peyton Jr., Milton, Eason, Moody,
Edwards,
Big Cat, Edwards, Holiday, Tatum, Jackson. So it's like what, 10 or 11 before you get to RJ and Grimes?
Yeah, that's impressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
One name, chat. One name you probably didn't expect to see on this list: R.J. Barrett.
I was going to say Tony Edwards.
Yeah, him is maybe him also. Right. Right. My thing is this with this list. You see RJ and Grimes, and disregard the numbers alongside. I'm not for sure why they have it ranked that way, but you see this at the top of the list. You see, 276 rows. This is page 1 of 6, and at the top of page 1 is Patrick Beverly. You scroll down.
Actually,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
14.
RJ Barrett is 14, and Quentin Grimes is the 15th ranked defender at their position. That isn't. Oh, and Mitchell Robinson. So Mitch, so Mitch is
17,
16,
18,
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23,
24.
24, right? So you have 14, 15, and 24. So the Knicks have 3 of the top 24 players in the NBA based on defensive rating, right? And I know that sounds like, so what are we really talking about, right? What we're really talking about is a fire ant defense, right? The Knicks have 2 wing players in the top 15 in the defensive rating, and then you have Mitchell Robinson ranked 24 in defensive rating based on what NBA.com says. And what I'm going to say to you guys is, I think that is very impressive that the Knicks have that many guys. And Julius Randle. You see Julius Randle?
Yeah.
Mitch is 24, so 25,
5,
26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33.
So
the Knicks have 4 guys in the top 33 in defensive rating as of right now.
Of course, we all know things change.
Yeah, things change. Yeah, things change. Or in this case, where the Knicks put emphasis. Well, you know what? Things change. Let me just put it that way. But what I will say is, just because they're at this number now doesn't mean things can't improve or get better. So the Knicks defense could probably get better. I want to go down and see how far Emmanuel. Jalen Brunson is 37.
So all the starting 5 are among the top 40.
Yeah. The Knicks have 5. The Knicks had, y'all listen. I'm gonna take this off the screen so y'all can look at Mets, right? I'm gonna take this off the screen, right? So we can look at this. Where is it? Bim. All right. This has got the Knicks at Night podcast on the bottom. Let me see if I can change. Let me take this down, remove, and go here. And that also has the Knicks at Night podcast. I want to put the Knicks Morning Drive here. So the Knicks have 5 players in the top 37 in defensive rating through 8 games. To me, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm. Despite the fact that the record is mediocre at the moment.
Yeah.
Granted, I blame the mediocrity. I blame the record.
Yo, Daniel, hey, Donald Cannon is in the building. Did someone wake up without taking their meds this morning? Me? No, I'm good, bro. I got.
I think he's referring to my costume.
I don't know. Yeah, well.
Which would make sense. I never get up this morning looking like this unless there's a comic convention in town.
Bim. Man, what time does it start?
Around 10 o'clock.
About 10 o'clock, all right.
Which means my sister has to get me to the hotel where it's being held at around 9:30 at the soonest.
Okay. So what are you going to do for breakfast?
I don't know yet.
Okay. Have you seen the Marvels?
No, but I've heard it sucks.
Yeah, I'm mixed on it. I'm mixed. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I mean, to me, it's just an overkill diversity push because it's all women. Because there are no men involved in the production and that sort of crap.
Right.
I mean, it's no wonder that because of this, people are getting tired of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So much so that the only MCU movie that's coming out next year is Deadpool 3.
I like Deadpool, bro.
Let's just hope Disney doesn't gut him.
Yeah, I like Deadpool. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I love Deadpool, man. But we'll see how they figure that one out. But the Knicks play Charlotte today, right? So the Knicks have Charlotte today, right? The Knicks have Charlotte. Brooklyn has Washington. The Clippers have Memphis. I don't care about the Clippers. I care about the Brooklyn versus Washington game for obvious reasons. Both of those teams are in our NBA tournament bracket. So
Actually, I don't think
that's all I care about.
Bracket.
Who?
I don't think the Nets are in our bracket. The Wizards are.
The Wizards are okay. All right.
If I remember correctly, it's us, the Hornets, the Bucks, the Hawks, and the Wizards. In our bracket.
Okay. Manchild is in the building. Jay Busby says it was not bad. Why is everyone's complaint was women doing the movie? I don't care anything about that part personally. I just like the MCU. I like comics. I like comic books. I like movies related to comic books, things of that sort. I like everything related to superhero. Well, not everything, but most things related to superheroes. So that's just me. And I understand that movies over the years, every movie is not going to be the best movie you've ever seen. So I don't care one way or the other. But on this Knicks point, though, on this point about the Knicks, DSJ, I know you listening, DSJ, but I'm almost at a place.
Oh, it wasn't the
I know
Hawks.
I'll go back and forth on this.
It was the Heat that was in our group along with the Bucks, Wizards, and Hornets.
Okay. My thing is I think the Knicks are in a really good place. My deal is I think the Knicks have ultimate belief in what Tom Thibodeau is doing, and I think they're just going to ride this thing out. Would I like to see the Knicks go after LeBron James? Of course.
I wouldn't.
Of course, but not for surface level reasons. Not for it's not for sleeping on top of the covers reasons. It's for more deep in-depth reasons. Greeny is in the building. Greeny, what's good?
In my case, I don't want LeBron there because he's just gonna butcher the team and basically remodel it to the way he wants to see it fit. I mean, play fit to himself. I mean, yeah, Brunson's doing the same thing with the Nova Knicks, but the point here is with LeBron, it's far worse. Look at how he basically butchered the Lakers. And that's my reason why I don't want him to go to the Knicks.
Okay. You like championships?
Yes, but not at the expense of bringing in players that are past their prime. It would be just a regression back to the Isaiah Thomas era.
What player do the Knicks have that's better than LeBron right now?
I don't know, but I'm just saying that
right. That's the point.
LeBron's prime now, and the fact that he also brings a load of political baggage, best to leave him alone.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. I'm doing the complete opposite. I want to bring LeBron here. I don't care about all the other stuff because you don't hang political baggage in the Raptors. You hang championship banners up there. And over the years, politics change depending on what area you're in and the politicians. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. What I'll say is for that realm, I'll leave that realm where it is. But in terms of us winning a championship, you can't go wrong with LeBron James. Every franchise that he's played for has won a championship with LeBron James. And if you're the Knicks, and all you're concerned with is championships, then I think you should consider. Now, I know what you're going to ask me. I do, because I feel like I know you, right? You're going to ask me, since when did Uncle Freezie consider selling his soul for a championship, right? I think that's what you were going to ask me, right? Yeah. I'm going to tell you, since we lost to Miami in Game 6, right? Since we lost to Miami in Game 6, I feel like we should do whatever. I don't care if they come out to that song. What's the song? The Devil Went Down to Georgia. I don't care. I don't care if they come out to that song. I don't care, bro. At this point, we got to start considering doing whatever it takes to win a championship. So did I read your mind, or was I off with that?
You were close.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, we could call it selling your soul. I would call it doing whatever it takes. You know what I mean? Because at some point, Clark has to understand his Superman powers. He's got to understand that Clark Kent is an alias. He's really Kal-El, right? You know what I'm saying? We have to understand that even though Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne, he's really Batman living Bruce Wayne's existence only to support Batman, right? We gotta get to that point, right? Like, for people that think Batman is just a secret identity for Bruce Wayne doesn't want to live the Bruce Wayne life. Bruce Wayne wants to be Batman. He's only Bruce Wayne in order to fund Batman. If he could do it any other way, he'd do it.
As long as he's not using a Bat credit card.
Right. I think the LeBron thing, and I'll shift gears for a minute. I'll get on. We can get onto the LeBron thing, right? So if it's not LeBron James, who would you sell your soul for? Who is there a player out there that you would go absolutely all in for right now, and that player is going to guarantee you a championship?
If and when his contract runs out, the guy we should have gotten with that one of those 2014 picks, Nikola Jokic.
Okay.
Imagine the Joker coming to Gotham.
I don't know if I can, man. That's like, man. Well, let me ask this. What's the likelihood?
At this point, slim to none, unless they let his contract in Denver run its course.
Why would they though?
Good point. They're probably going to
I'm,
level.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking, like just to get your feedback.
Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to hold out a fool's hope at we get at least one pick that we should have gotten years ago. Granted, I would prefer to have him sooner than when we got with, say, Amari Stoudemire, who we should have gotten in the 02 draft. Instead, we had to get during the 2011 offseason.
Right. Right.
Or 2010 offseason, excuse me.
Right. All the guys, and salute to the chat, man. Everybody that y'all are gonna say, think about what y'all are saying before you type it. Like, for instance, I see Greeny said Ant-Man, right? Why would Minnesota let Ant-Man walk? Anthony Edwards is probably the closest thing to a Kobe Bryant in the making that we've ever seen, right? And I know he's young right now, but even Kobe at a young age was not the Mamba until later on in his career, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to say to everybody is LeBron James not more attainable than Anthony Edwards or Jokic or Giannis or Embiid? Because who else out there is attainable?
Granted, I don't really think Joel's going to be all that attainable given his injury list history.
Right.
I mean, yeah, on paper he'd probably be the most attainable, but you gotta look at the injuries as a caveat.
Right. 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 I'm gonna say the LeBron thing is attainable for all those reasons that you mentioned. That is what makes him the least expensive, but provides the highest upside. All the things you mentioned: age, injury, politics, front office aggressiveness. All those things make LeBron James not as attractive. But you can't deny the fact that he won a championship in Cleveland, he won a championship in Miami, and he won a championship in Los Angeles.
Right, you put
And if he comes to New York, you're banking on the fact that he would bring a championship to New York.
Granted, you'd put an asterisk next to the LA title.
Right. But it is a title, though. I mean, because think about it. If we had won that championship and somebody in other fan bases told us that we had to put an asterisk next to it, we'd be like, so what? If the Knicks had won that bubble chip, we'd be like, so what? We still won.
Yeah, but we had to be very good. But of course, 2019, 2020, we were nothing but dog shit.
Right. That's all right. I'm gonna send you a bill for that later on. YouTube probably got me just that fast, or got us, because they're tripping. So, yeah, man. Yeah, so the LeBron thing, I don't want to push a narrative, and I don't want to create a narrative, right? But considering that when everybody else is making deals for Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant's and Kyrie Irving's, we traded for Josh Hart.
Mm-hmm.
And considering the Knicks have a reservoir of assets.
Assets that I don't want to give away.
Well, it doesn't matter. The point I was going to get at is it doesn't matter how many assets you have if nobody wants it. And understand one man's trash is another man's treasure. But what I'm going to say is, in this case, I think it's the reverse.
Another
Vinny
person.
Vegas is in the building. What's good, man?
So in this case, one man's treasure is another person's trash.
Yeah. Yeah. BT, what's good? BT ain't ready. BT ain't ready. Oh, BT, what's good, man?
Nothing. I'm just chilling. I had my Bluetooth on. I had to turn it off. My fault. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
It was good. It's very early, right?
Yeah.
Very early.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited for tonight's game, but there's a lot of things we got to talk about. So I'm going to let you continue and I'll hop in and out. But it's good to hear from you guys again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So here's another thing I want to touch on just really quickly because I know we generally don't do a show this early in the morning. I hadn't been around, so I want to get some content out here. The 718 boys will be coming your way. Probably, I think they're gonna rock from 10 to 11:30 this morning. How do you guys feel about Tom Thibodeau turning the corner?
You mean realizing that his play style is maybe doing a little more harm than good, and he's giving more players time off the bench?
Yeah.
It's possible, but the problem is, again, if he's still stubborn as I see him to be, he's only going to do that if they're getting pummeled or they're doing the pummeling.
Okay.
What I was going to say is for us to grade Tibbs, we got to grade him on the 4 years of him being here. So to me, it's like college. I think Tibbs had some issues. He worked through it with what he had. And now he's actually making changes to where the adjustments are pretty good. Because if you look at the second team now, as opposed to any other time, they didn't see the system the way they see it now. They're not into it as they are now. Like the way RJ's performing, nobody would have saw him being this good 4 years down the road. It's like now we see, like, except for the diehard RJ fans, which we have, very few people knew RJ was going to be as consistent as he is now. So it takes time to develop. And with any coach, you have to give them a 3 to 4 year span to see how they change rosters, how they make the adjustments. And Tibbs is doing really well because he's staying in New York and making us relevant with his coaching. We may not agree with it, but we have an identity based off of his 4 year program. So I give him about a B plus. He's got work to do, but it's a B plus. And for us in the last 20 years, that's a high grade for any coach that stayed, especially this long.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to give him a B based on all that. As I still think there are times where that tunnel vision and that 10-man mentality can rear his ugly head, and it leads to this team regressing back to a real-world equivalent of the Dimsdale Ball Hogs, a habit he needs to beat out of these boys.
But okay. I think he's working on it because, to be honest with you, I see what you're saying, Matt. It's still there. You're right. It still is there. But for the most part, the option of them getting the ball faster to the position is kind of giving them a delayed reaction time to the defense to where they can create their own. So in a negative way, you're right, but we also have a positive coming out of it to where people are attacking the rim more. We are driving more. We have better offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds because of Mitchell Robinson. So it's like everyone's clicking right now. We just got to have it consistent for the long haul. Like the end of the season, we can end up, if we end up in the Eastern Conference Finals, but we have 45 wins, nobody's going to say nothing. It's the end result is what we're all waiting for.
Okay. All right.
And again, I'm also frustrated with how the Super Tank Bowl played out on Thursday.
But I'm going to give Tibbs credit because, to be honest with you, we only have one superstar. And the improvements he's making off of that one superstar, which is Randall, I have to say I'm impressed because by now, most of the time, you need two superstars in this league. On the fact that Tibbs is coaching guys to become that, and as well as only having one, he's also limited. So I'm giving him that B plus because of his creativity. But don't get me wrong, his creativity is good, but it's not good for the league now because Nobody plays defense the way we do. Nobody rebounds the way we do. Like, that mentality is no longer there. So for me, I'm happy that we have a coach that still teaches the old school mentality, but it's very difficult to integrate it into the new system. But he's making it work. So I got to give him creative criticism on that. He's doing okay. It's not good, but it's okay. And I want to keep going.
Okay. I think I want to give Tibbs a pass for this early start because Randall clearly is not 100%.
True.
So I'm thinking if Randall was 100% coming into the season, I think we're looking at a 6-2 record at a minimum. The Milwaukee game should have been a win.
Game.
The Boston game should have been a win.
We only lost by 4 in the last 3 minutes, and we weren't even playing full strength with Randall.
Right.
What were the other games we lost?
Boston, Cleveland, New Orleans, Milwaukee.
New Orleans, I could understand because they got Zion. We can't really prepare for a downhill guy that weighs over 200 pounds, and that's very rare to find. That's like going against Charles Barkley, but just faster.
200 pounds? 200 pounds is nothing.
Now, I'm saying, I don't know how Zion is. What is he, like 240? I didn't want to, say he's 300 pounds and he really like 240.
Yeah, RJ is over 200 pounds, bro.
I thought Zion was like around 270.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Okay, so a 270 guy moving as fast as he does is very difficult to be used to because, like I said, to me, the only other person I think that he moves like is Barkley. Downhill, gets to the basket, and he's good. But I really think the Pelicans Pelicans probably would be a loss. But the other 3 losses we have, we could have probably pulled out a win. But that's
I think we could have won those games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're going to lose one. Like the Cleveland game, I could understand because Mitchell came, he came to New York and he had to show, he's not a second half guy.
And it was the second day of a back-to-back.
Yeah. Like I can see us losing that one.
True.
Yeah, 6-2 with Randall healthy, man, and then
I think with Randall healthy, I think we're a different team or in a different place. I think we're definitely in a different place.
And I think the biggest loss we've had is like 12 points, if I'm not mistaken.
That was to New Orleans, right?
New Orleans, yeah. Every other game was
like
a single-digit number we lost by. So it's not even just Randall. Had Hart stepped up and scored more, or if Mitchell made his free throws. There were little things that we could not just blame on Randall. But, yeah, you're right.
I thought we lost to the Pelicans by 9.
Yeah, and it didn't. My point was, whatever the score was, it just didn't feel like it was close. I don't even think that we lost by 9. It felt like we lost by 20. Is what I'm getting at. We were not in that game from giddy up. We looked like a tired, slow team.
Like it was the first game of the season, and we just made the finals, and we're tired from the finals run. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, we looked sluggish in that game. So, yeah.
But
go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna jump. One more thing about Tibbs that I like is he believes in his players. Not too many coaches. Yeah, he rings them up, he yokes them up and stuff like that, but he believes in them to where he can do that. Like for me growing up, I know when teachers used to give me a hard time, it's because they expected better from me. And I have to say, I'm really impressed with RJ and the way him and Randall have worked on RJ. I got to say to all the RJ fans out there, you guys, you guys believed in him. Keep it up. You guys are the diehards. He's really showing me what you guys have seen all this time. So for me, Tibbs is doing it, man. Especially with like I said, any other coach, it'll be fired after 2 years. Any other coach wouldn't have the heart to keep waking up and coaching for New York. It's not easy to be in our market.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, case in point, 2 of the biggest quitters, Pat, and ironically, the 2 that got to our most recent finals, Pat Riley and Jeff Van Gundy.
Especially that punk Pat Riley. He's the reason why most people don't like Miami. Like he's the reason why we have a feud with Miami.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
me, it's like, and that's probably what's going to happen with Porzingis the way he's playing in Boston. He probably reunited because we draft him and he's playing for our rival, but he's playing the way he should have been playing with us with them. So for me, I kind of like it, but none of these coaches now can really last. Like, look at what happened to whatchamacallit to Atlanta. They had
Ian
4
McMillan?
new head coaches in like 3 years. Like, how would they expect to thrive if they're constantly changing coaches, if they're constantly changing a culture? We actually have a coach that's not giving us, like, yeah, we may have a bad season, but 1 in 4 years we've had a really bad season. But every other year we made the playoffs. We have an all-star. Like, you know what I'm saying? 2 out of 4 ain't bad. So
Okay. I think
like I
Tibbs
said,
is
don't
doing.
get me wrong. I'm not gonna say I don't have negative towards Tibbs. I do. There's a lot of things he can do in game I can agree with that he needs to work on. But for what he's given us with our service, kudos. I gotta respect it. Most people need to start doing that. Like, we love our guys, but don't just sit here and be negative all the time. Actually see what they're doing, because it's been 20 years since we've actually been in this position.
Okay.
So, and I'm telling you, either this year we're making the Eastern Conference Finals, or whatever happens next year, if this team stays together, I guarantee you within the next 2 years we're going to hit that finals, and everyone's going to look and start liking Tibbs all of a sudden.
You guarantee it. Okay. You guarantee it. All right.
Everybody healthy, yes, we're hitting the Eastern Conference Finals in the
Nah,
next 2 years.
you said you guarantee it, so guarantee me,
Yeah.
guarantee, right?
Hey, look, I love this team, man. We all see something in this team that may be different than one another, but collectively, we all have the same idea, and that's to get to the finals, Eastern Conference Finals. One step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time. One step at a time.
Exactly.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. All right. So let me move on a little bit off of Tibbs. All right. Keith Turner says RJ don't get the media attention to make the All-Star team. Keith Turner is probably somewhere. You know what? I think Keith Turner is probably somewhere on the horizon waiting for World Buster Hulk to come stomping through so he can shackle up World Buster Hulk. For those that know who World Buster Hulk is, for those that know comics. So
Damn, he the bounty hunter? Damn.
yeah,
The intergalactic bounty hunter, huh?
yeah. Martian Manhunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Um, let me say, I'll say this one thing about Tibbs just real quick. You don't necessarily have to like his style if he gets results, right? Because if this team makes the playoffs, that will be 3 years out of 4 seasons Tibbs got this team to the playoffs. And before Tom Thibodeau, this team sucked, right?
With
This
very
team
few
sucked.
bright spots.
So you may not like Tibbs or the way he does stuff, but the thing you can't argue in a results driven business is that man got some level of results,
I mean,
right?
compared to the contemporaries that came before him. I mean, let's run down the list. After
Right.
Van Gundy left midway through 01-02, Don Chaney took over for the rest of that year, and 02-03 didn't do much. Lenny Wilkins was brought in midway through 03-04, got the team to the playoffs, but because of the mismatching pieces, they got swept by the New Jersey Nets. Then they get rid of him by midway 04-05 when the team goes into a tailspin, and Herb Williams has to pick up the pieces, and he can't do it. 05-06, Larry Brown, constant meddling, worst season for the team at that point in time. 06-07 into 07-08, Isaiah Thomas, bit of a step up in 06-07, but regressed back to the worst spot in 07-08. This leads to him getting ousted and Donnie Walsh taking over basketball operations and Mike D'Antoni coming in. 3.5 years, only one appearance in the playoffs, swept by Boston in 10-11. And that's even with the Melo trade. Players' strike leads to season getting shaved by 16 games. Midway through that, he gets ousted and replaced with Mike Woodson, who leads the team to the playoffs. They lose to Miami in 5 in the at the peak of Linsanity, and they let Jalen go. 12-13, best year in almost over a decade for the Knicks. Win the division crown, get to the second round, only
Knicks
to get
tape.
what?
Knicks tape. The Knicks tape season.
Right. The year where they're basically a bunch of older guys who exceed their expectations. 13-14. A bit of a regression when you lose pieces like Novak, Camby. Basically, wrong players to pick up. Blows up in their faces. Woodson gets ousted. Jackson takes over. And it's a nightmare with the triangle for 3 freaking seasons.
And poor pick and roll defense.
Right.
Very poor pick and roll defense. Thank you, Kurt Rambis.
And thank you, Phil Jackson, for picking yes men in your stupid overkill commit into the triangle. He never scouted. He never looked at draft picks wisely.
I still can't believe we did that to Phil. He won a championship with us. He's a 12-time championship coach. And we ran him out of here. Come on, and y'all guys are hating on Tibbs, and he's still here? Y'all don't understand how strong that man is as a coach to take that. That's what I'm talking about.
But he didn't come here to coach.
He came here to win.
He came here to turn this thing around.
And he's doing that. You have to start somewhere.
No, not Tibbs. Phil Jackson. Not Tibbs. Phil Jackson is what I'm talking about.
And he ended up blowing the thing to pieces. Especially when you make the first move of trying to sign a crack addict Lamar Odom as your first executive decision. The minute
it still don't make sense. It still doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the minute he made that choice, you knew there was a red flag and something was up. In my opinion, Jackson sabotaged the team out of spite for letting him go in 75, 76.
Yeah, he was old by that time. Windmill Phil was done. But I will say this though, based on Tom Thibodeau's track record with this team, the one season he didn't make the playoffs, there were injuries all across the roster, and you can't make chicken salad out of chicken whatever, right? My thing is disregarding that 1 year where Kemba was hurt, where Rose was hurt, Randall was hurt at the end of the season. What's his name? Mitch was hurt. Nerlens Noel is hurt. All those guys in and out of the lineup. You got a lot of minutes from Jericho Sims, Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin. Those guys were not ready to step up. So to think that Tibbs could get that to the playoffs, I think we're mistaken in assuming that. But if he did, BT, if he did make the playoffs, do you know that means Tom Thibodeau would have made the playoffs every season?
Yeah.
As a Knicks head coach?
Uh-huh.
And while that seems like nothing, that is everything. Because coaches in previous regimes have come here and they've ramped up to 1 playoff appearance before getting fired. And Tom Thibodeau could this lead this team to 3 playoff appearances in 4 seasons.
Didn't Woodson have 2 technically? Didn't Mike Woodson technically have 2?
Yeah, but it's 4 years. This is his 4-year tenure. And he's saying this year as well, which would make it 3. But that would also put him into Coach of the Year talks, which nobody wants to talk about. Because if you think about it, him coming here, and 2 years we make the playoffs, and we actually make the Eastern Conference Finals with what we have, that's a 4-year product. That's coaching at his best. So that's Coach of the Years right there if that happens.
Oh. But again, like you said, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Right.
Yeah.
Tibbs knows that.
We got the eggs on the counter. We just waiting.
Okay. Well, what I'm gonna say to everybody is is listen, if you can't get a superstar that's going to cover up all your weaknesses, then just work on your weaknesses, right? When in a situation where you need a Justice League, right? If you need a Justice League and you don't have a Superman, then everybody else has to pull together. It's just what it is.
Or just call him the JLD, the Justice League Dark, and bring a little black magic to the table.
Well,
but yeah, that's another thing. That's talent that you got to teach, and people don't even give them that respect, because for you to find your weaknesses and make sure you strengthen them by playing the way we've been playing. Look at our defense. Our defense is very hard to be playing defensive minded this year. So,
granted, I'm not sure who the most cynical player is to be the world. If we do go Justice League Dark levels with this team, I'm not sure who's the player that best fits the role of the world's biggest world class, warlock, John Constantine.
Right. In the case with Tibbs, though, when you know the roster was flawed for so many years, and you know that there is a culture thing possibly inside the building, I think you probably have to adjust and do things a certain type of way, right? Just have to do things a certain type of way. Just build things the right way, right? Just get back to the fundamentals of basketball. Teach things like defense. Teach things like sharing the basketball, playing together, taking care of your body, rebounding the basketball, contesting every pass, dribble, shot, screen, cut, contest everything. And if you contest everything that way, that means you don't just have to contest shots, right? If you contest everything leading up to the shot, then contesting the shot will be easy.
And on top of that, you not giving them the opportunity to actually shoot. But based off of what he said that Tibbs is very old school and outdated. You could say that, but it works for us. What if we actually, what if he actually produces again, and like Unc said, 3 years in the playoffs?
CWC, what's good, man?
Yeah, Necco.
What's good? What's good, party people?
Good morning.
Y'all can hear me? Good morning. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, you got a reverb, man.
I think it's on BT side.
No, StreamYard told me it's TWC. Good vibes. What's good? CWC, you got headphones you can put on?
No, I'm outside, man. I don't got no headphone, Uncle Freezie.
Yeah, man.
All right.
You starting the thing, man. It's good to see you, though. Can you got something?
Yeah, good to see y'all too. I just came on pop on and see how y'all doing. That's it, man.
Okay.
All right.
All right, boss.
So you gotta sometimes be happy with what you got. That's another thing, because if it works. Yeah, if it was any other team, if it was any other coach's name, I guarantee you guys would be like, we should get that coach. In 4 years, they make the playoffs 3 times. Y'all would be like, oh, we need him. We can start a new regime with him. But because it's Tibbs and the Knicks, you guys feel entitled to having a coach like Spo or Popovich or someone like that who has like generations of years of winning. Excuse me.
But here's my problem with that mindset, BT. I mean, when you look at Poppy, these days, he's lucky if this team, the Spurs, get around 20 or 25 wins, given how badly it's in need of a rebuild. And he's been there for what, almost 30 years?
Yeah, but he has championships.
True.
And then look at he has like 2, 3. No, he has like 6 Hall of Famers that he coached under and won with.
Right.
He has coach of the year 3 times. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, people would be like, oh, we would have loved to have him like that tenured here in New York, to where we had the same coach for the last 30 years. We won championships. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not taking away Poppy's credibility. I do admit he's a 5-time champion coach. But that said, eventually that luster loses its sheen. I mean, case in point, in football, you look at the Patriots, Bill Belichick, probably the greatest, probably the GOAT of professional football coaching. But this year he is, but the last few years, the Patriots have stunk, not making the playoffs. And this year, they're more like on pace to get a top 5 draft pick.
Right.
And he actually tied the most losses for a head coach. He's tied.
Okay.
To Belichick.
With who?
Man, I can't remember his name, but I know they were saying it when I was watching the last game. But he won. He ended up winning.
Yeah, but the thing is nobody stays on top forever.
Fact.
Right. Nobody stays on top forever. People forget that the 49ers have been doing this yo-yo thing for years. Be great, be terrible, be great, be terrible, be great, be terrible.
Steve
right?
Young.
Yeah. People forget that they had the number 2 pick in the draft one year. They earned it. Matter of fact, they had the number 2 pick in the draft twice. They took Trey Lance one time and Solomon Thomas, I think, one time, or somebody like that one time. Right? Nobody stays on top. The reason why they got Belichick is because back in the day is because they stunk. You know what I'm saying? Everybody goes through it. What I'm saying with the Knicks right now is we are in this weird cycle of mediocrity and no one notices because we have not had the number 1 pick and we have not won an NBA title. So we're in that weird thing where
we haven't had a number 1 pick since '85, and one of the corners of the envelopes were bent, so we would get Ewing.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at ultimately is I think the thing with Tibbs is not even a coaching issue, right? And it's not even a coaching issue because the organization chose Quentin Grimes. Ultimately, even if Tom Thibodeau banged the table for Quentin Grimes over Cam Thomas, Herb Jones, and others, Jalen Johnson, ultimately the decision came down to Leon Rose. Leon Rose is the boss, right? Ultimately, Leon Rose is the boss. So regardless of what we say about Tibbs, Sherwin is in the building. So ultimately, regardless of what we say about Leon Rose, about Tibbs, Leon Rose is the decision maker, man. We have to give that man some credit in the decision maker process. I mean, give him credit for the decision making process. Anthony 212 says, if they trade quick, I ain't watching no more. I would say I feel similarly, but I would still watch.
Nobody wants to see one of their young gunners actually get traded, especially quickly. I don't want to see that because wherever he goes, I can see him just coming to the Garden and dropping like 50. Because most likely he'll be starting. I'm just saying. And I think he's better than Poole. So the way Poole's supposed to be the next Steph Curry, I think quickly is going to be the next like downhill. Like he's going to be like the next De'Aaron Fox somehow. Like, but not as good with the shot. But he's going to be that downhill ability. So I want to see him with us. I don't want to see quickly get traded.
I don't want any of them traded at the deadline, especially if a draft pick gets thrown in the mix.
I was going to say at this point, we didn't trade for Mitchell last year, Donovan Mitchell. So I'm just like, hey, just go all in. Keep the chips where they are. We're just going to keep it all in and just, see how this year is. I don't want to trade any of them, especially Grimes. I like Grimes.
See, that's the double-edged sword.
Yeah,
because if I ask y'all, would you trade for a superstar? What would you say?
It depends on the superstar, and for me, it is one guy I would trade for, especially getting rid of Grimes. Like I want Alex Caruso.
I'm gonna say just any superstar. I even if I don't put a name to him, even if I don't put a name to the player, if I say, hey, you can get a superstar by the trade deadline, would you consider trading your young players and or draft picks?
Me? No.
I think
Me
I
right
think
now,
most
no.
people would say yes.
I wouldn't.
You already know my answer. Hell no. If Leon
Right.
Rose were to do that, I'd just storm the Knicks front office, kick him in the gut, and give him a stunner if he did it again.
Right.
Because then what was the purpose for missing out on a lot of other key players we could have had? I mean, Paul George, everyone says, oh, we could have had Paul George, even though he wanted a new contract. We could have
Right.
had Donovan Mitchell. We could have had any one of these other superstars, and they said no to keep our young guys here. Yeah, they traded away Toppin. Yeah, they traded away oh damn, what's his name? He's on the Lakers now. Can't believe I forgot his name. But anyway, yeah, they traded away him, and they traded away a lot of the other guys. This is the first time we actually have young guys still in our organization that's been here for some time. Let's run with it. Because if you trade away now, what happens when it fails? Or what happens? You have a higher risk of it failing than it working now. Because after 4 years of progress, well, about to be 4 years, you now building into something. Now you want to get rid of these pieces? Nah. Year 2 or 3 would have been the year to do that.
What happens if when it succeeds?
What you mean if they were to get a superstar, we end up like the Toronto Raptors when they got Kawhi?
No. No. What about it being a situation like San Antonio, where you get a guy and you get sustained excellence for 15 years?
For me right now, if those 15 years we don't win a championship, it's the same as where we are now.
True.
So unless we win it now, like we can win, let's say we win a championship within the next 2 years, but then never win again for another 15. I would rather that because it's been long overdue since we've had one. And at least we've built some type of culture and we have an example to try to replicate later on down the road if we decide to change. But
Okay.
we have some sort of success. But if for 15 years we just making the playoffs, we're like Miami, where how they've been the last 4 years, or like Boston, where we're making it to the finals, I'm not going to be too happy because we're always getting to the end, but we're not winning. Something's off. And that's a lot more work to do to fix one or two small things with a big company like how Boston has it now. If they don't win, it's bust. But they got Tatum, who's been to the playoffs 6 years straight. You know, it creates a lot of problems. Like, what are they doing? Even though they're successful, I don't want that. I'd rather have one championship than have 15 years of success without one.
True.
I
And we
I
have,
disagree. I'm on the other side. I say I'm gonna say to y'all, and I think y'all will agree too. Maybe when I put it this type of way,
no, I'm
the one championship versus many debate is one that you have when you have 0 championships, right? But the run up during the season, watching your team win clutch game after clutch game, and then get to the NBA Finals, and then beat the second best team in the NBA to win a championship and spend one calendar year as the reigning NBA champs is something that you can't sleep on, right? Right. It's one of those things where in theory it's nice to say, I don't want one chip. I want a sustained run at a chip that may get me 3 championships over 20 years. But it's another thing saying savoring the moment, right? Being in the moment, going along for the ride, enjoying like BT, you ever had an event? Say you had an event that you look forward to, right? Say you had an event that you look forward to, and as you prepared for that event, you just got more and more excited as the event got closer and closer.
Yeah,
And then when you went to the event, it wound up being way more than you anticipated.
yeah,
Yep.
That's what I'm saying about the Knicks winning a championship, right? I would rather get the championship first, go along for the ride, and celebrate it, as opposed to turning that down for the chance at 3 or 4 championships. And so in theory, what I'm saying is a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. You know what I
Or a
mean?
bat in the hand is worth 2 in the belfry.
Right. Like what if we beat Miami and then went and then beat Boston in Boston and played the Denver Nuggets in the finals this summer?
I would have been
And
so
the
happy with
series would
just
have been
that.
tied. The series would have been tied 3-3, and Game 7 is in Madison Square Garden.
Oh,
That's
And
what
man.
you
and
do
the
at the
and the
Ball Arena.
Knicks just at the start of Game 7, the Knicks just jump out on them and blow them out. So by the
Randall
time
got
the
20
third quarter
points in the first
the
quarter.
third quarter gets here, you know you're gonna win a championship.
Yeah,
Right.
Randall
Wouldn't
got
that
20 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Brunson's doing his burner. RJ dunking on freaking everybody. Yeah, that would
Wouldn't
be
wouldn't that series have started and ended in Denver, technically?
yeah. Let us dream, man. Let us dream.
Yeah. Either way. Either way. Say okay. Either way. Say if it started in Denver, say we swept Denver, and then we were up 3 games out to none with a closeout game in the Garden in Game 4. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the dream of 4 or 5 championships may be dishonesty with ourselves. I think we're not being honest. I think most fans want to just put one foot in front of the other. Start with 1, and then you can win 2. But you can't win 2 until you win 1.
Exactly.
East
I
Blue
agree
Jews in
with
the
that.
building. He says, hell yeah, IQ dropping the dagger 3 over Murray. Bim. Yeah. And Keith Turner says, some fans don't want to let go of our mediocre talent. It's crazy.
What I got a question. If our mediocre talent is mediocre, but it gets us to the finals, what does that say about the mediocrity of our team? Is it mediocre still, or is it productive? Like, what makes our
I
team?
think it's productive because if they go from, you can get better.
That's what I'm saying. So why would you get rid of talent that is producing for you, getting better at a cheaper rate to get a superstar that can produce? Basically, you getting rid of 2 to 3 of your younger stars to get one guy to do what 3 of their jobs. That's a lot of pressure to put on one player. Don't get me wrong, that's why they're superstars. But for me, it's like Moneyball. Why would I go out and get one player, pay him all this money when I can have 2 to 3 players hit certain numbers to still get the productivity of the team?
True.
That's why I said it works.
I honestly, I don't care as long as we win a championship.
That's the whole
I
point.
don't care. I don't care
And
who's productive or how. I don't even care what the productive measure is. I don't care if we get there with all offense or all defense. I don't care if we get there with balance. I don't care if we just get there with one guy getting insanely Super Saiyan hot, right? As long as we win, right? That's all that matters, right? Just like that old song, you can get there by sailboat, you can get there by caravan. I don't care how you get there. Get there if you can. That's what I'm saying about the Knicks, right? And I think the Knicks are playing their hand conservatively, but at the same time, they're staying in the card game by being conservative.
yeah, I agree. I was just gonna say this about the Nets that people need to understand. They got some really good defensive players that most people don't really see. And plus Brad Miller offensively is stepping up a lot. I feel that the fact that uh they drafted the best player to add to what they needed and actually needed that player as opposed to just drafting a top player and seeing if it works out. They actually drafted a top player that works well with them right now. And they also have a defense that I love bringing up that they shut down Giannis. They shut him down to 7 points and he fouled out the game. Like, and this is when Giannis was hot. So for me, it's like they know how to play basketball. And the quickest way to lose to Charlotte is to just is to, like, for me, the quickest way we're gonna lose is if they get out early and score on us, because we're gonna always be trying to come back, and Randall's gonna be off. But for me, I would rather Randall come out, get his legs under him, kick out pass, play more of the passing and rebounding game and controlling the offense in the beginning and see how they are. Because if Brandon Miller gets hot at the right time, plus mixed with how they play with a quick style basketball, I don't think we can keep up.
Which I find ironic considering the last time we played. You know what was so ironic about the last time we played the Hornets last March?
Okay.
It was rather depressing because not only did we lose by blowing a 16-point lead in the second half, it was several hours earlier that day. I had to put my dog down, and it was kind of a sign that I think something was going to go wrong.
Right. Yeah, that sucked.
All because the little guy ended up swallowing a twist tie when I wasn't looking.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucked.
So watch out for Charlotte, man. I mean, Brandon Miller, and then the way LaMelo could get down with them, the way their guys are playing as a young team without a real all-star. Well, I mean, LaMelo is an all-star, but let's be real. They're doing something that I think people need to watch. Same thing with Orlando. The way Suggs is playing, the way he's able to get 6 steals in the game, the way he's able to play defense.
So you're saying today's a trap game?
It could be, but it's also a learning experience. Whether we win or lose, we need to learn from our mistakes. Because to be honest, I think Charlotte, I think the Magic, and even the Rockets, like certain teams that are coming up, are going to get the experience off of us and actually be better the next year. And it's going to be harder for us to take advantage of it. So we need to learn and make adjustments throughout the game. That's where I think we might have a problem tonight, is how Tibbs makes his adjustments. Are we going to go straight to small ball and just try to run with them? Or are we going to actually try to control the game with our first team and let our second team contain a lead or create a lead?
Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
Especially since the Hornets brought Steve Clifford back as their coach, though I don't understand why, when you consider the reason he left and went to Orlando was due to health issues. Wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't know. Hey, y'all, but listen, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to wrap up. I got to get in contact with the 718 boys, man. We're going to be rocking at 10 o'clock. 718 boys coming your way at 10 to about 11:30-ish or something like that. Game at 12 o'clock. BT, thank you for coming out, hanging with us, man. Mets, thank you for coming out, hanging with us, man. Good luck. Good. Yep. Good. Hey, have fun at the convention, man. We're going to holler at y'all later.